when he started playing as even a player at the age of 9, Juventus youth system, he was able to come up in the team A of Juventus Football Club in 1976 to 1978, where he played very well for Juventus Football Club. After that, on the side of Palermo, and after Palermo, he went to Cavaz to play as a particular player for them. But then after that particular football career, he came back to Juventus Football Club to make sure so coach youth system. When he came to Juventus, he started very well. But then in the side of 2003, he had his first managerial appointment to actually go into the football club called Crotone to make sure say 203-204 season or Jomo Ebitimai Awamadi at the other side of Crotone as a football club or qualify from the Serie B to the Serie A in 2003-2004. Make sure so Ebitime stabilize almost from 205 to 206 season and Odinibeche Genoa Akwako managed that particular football club for about 4 years for the side of Genoa. He actually managed Genoa from 2006 to 2010. After Genoa, he came to Inter Milan. Abrana Leonardo, at the football club Natua. After said Jose Mourinho, a lot of things. Edema Inter Milan, Leonardo Betua so called trophies in 2011 season. Ojao the football club now so Ojao Koyano. They needed to bring in another well experienced player who would have done very well for the side of Inter Milan, and they brought in Gianpiero Gasperini to actually coach that particular team, Inter Milan. When Timiambono Humode and farmer the side of Inter Milan, Yapamono Manekoy, or go back to Palermo, or coach Palermo from 2012 to 2016 season, went back to Genoa, and then in 2016 he came back to Atlanta. The Atlanta project one of the biggest projects in the lifetime, that's in the history of Atlanta. Now it has become very difficult for that particular football club to win major trophy for itself, and even for Gianpiero Gasperini, it was very difficult for him to win a trophy. Most of these clubs are Wakochi, Ediamomu, he was not able to win a major trophy for them, including Inter Milan. Utimi Emeki shows in 2012 when he went to Inter Milan, 2011-22 when he went to Inter Milan, Inter elbow into the Champions League. Omu compete was Scudetto, Omu compete ewa Coppa Italia. He was not able to make sure or the Inter Milan with Majibioko trophyless, and even to the extent of Atlanta, Omu first major trophy no Muntimengeno. They went ahead with Gianpiero Gasperini, had that particular project, making sure some 3 basic players within that particular Atlanta Football Club anymore. To me, development when before some but Atlanta, it was very poor. Gianpiero Gasperini made sure so Betimi so Lukman was part of that particular squad. He made sure from Lukman, the friend of free, the English Premiership ever Atlanta. He made sure so Ademola Lukman in terms of goal scoring opportunities in attacking third as a false number 9, as a left winger, he can easily play ahead of any other attacker or Betima finding himself in our Atlanta or front attacking third wall, and he delivered. Last season with Atlanta, he made sure that Atlanta go into the finals of Europa. Although in 2017, not by for Leverkusen in Asia in the Europa round 16 stage, in that particular time. But then Abraham Zabi Alonso, he admitted said that season, last season, by for Leverkusen by Zabi Alonso was a superb and a different team way back in 2017 or in the round 16 stage of the Europa League. But then he went ahead in that particular moment in time and not by for Leverkusen. Omoko invisible unbeaten in the Bundesliga and even the DFB Pokal. He went ahead in the finals of the Europa League, making sure say Obetimashe by for Leverkusen actually the first major trophy at the Atlanta, and making sure so Besanso writed that particular historic win for himself as a personal manager ever since Ocean and managerial career and as on any other major trophy for himself. He wrote that particular beautiful story for himself, and then it has become a very difficult situation for him. Because the last time na Atlanta also Progenasia hit by COVID-19 in 2019-2020, the city of Bergamo recorded one of the highest places na COVID-19 a lot of people over there, and most of the players, the families were affected by these particular things also Bergamo. But then he stood in with these particular players, made sure so Betima reignited the player relationship with most of these Atlanta players, and making sure that the projects now they can easily utilize that particular project very well. And again, Gianpiero Gasperini, when your offer was so called AC Milan, Echo 20 Median. So to me, Atlanta was that particular club by Etimi propelling and I said, with me making sure so we're writing a beautiful history with Atlanta. But with AC Milan, it's a big football club, what that kind of thing. In terms of the Serie A winnings, you talk talk about Juventus Football Club or imagine most of these Scudetto, and then after that to talk about Inter Milan. AC Milan the third football club or imagine most of these Scudetto in terms of Coppa Italia. They've won so many Coppa Italia titles for themselves. Even with Champions League, apart from Real Madrid Football Club, the second football club winning most in the Champions League, AC Milan Football Club. To this particular football club, AC Milan go the days and there was Silvio Berlusconi in Semono. We saw AC Milan also triumph when it comes to the Champions League and even the Coppa Italia and Serie A titles or Gedema, the side of AC Milan. But after that particular administration, AC Milan in Monebono Kwane conform, and they will need that kind of well-experienced coach. When he comes, he can easily make sure unknown influence will have a basic effect in the dressing room, and unknown influence will become a philosophy in terms of tactical tricks for AC Milan in most of the times. And I say in most of the next season they beat me a champion, or the philosophy they beat me having a lot of influence for the side of AC Milan. And you don't want to compete with that particular managerial position. Thiago Motta. And so you compete for that. And Chebiano or the side of Bologna last season, a lot of things. Qualify them board the Champions League. But then Ujaho Koye Eko Kochi Juventus Football Club. Juventus Anko Ye ya permanent free honum. To me, Thiago Motta any that kind of coach will be to me I restore the glory days of AC Milan Football Club. Say AC Milan Epe one particular quality coach. Obetima restore that particular history. Obetima instill a lot of values for their football club. It should be to say Gianpiero Gasperini, because when they talk about most of these coaches and I say between or not any Thiago Motta in terms of experience wise, Gianpiero Gasperini in terms of playing at the highest level, even as a manager, Gianpiero Gasperini oversee Inter Milan, and with AC Milan and I say with Atlanta last season. OG the Europa League, I think when you have that kind of fine coaching career with AC Milan, he can win a lot of titles for them. The job is there. But as I say, AC Milan penny for Eddie Gianpiero Gasperini, I think he is the one who deserves that particular job, and he can transform that job called AC Milan.
Another preference for Ronaldo. Old man, please retire. Your time is up. Jakarta, Rashford are the best sports on the planet.